Yo, what's up, guys? Here to bring you kind of an interesting video. I want to talk today about fairy tale. Um, oh God. Uh, I think I get it, and I think I understand the appeal, and I think it actually reminds me a lot of Boku no Pico and oh, sorry, wrong show. What I meant to say was Boku no Hero Academia and Zatchbell and Mare. Intro start. Okay, so anyone knows in the past, and anyone who's been a part of my channel, and even the people I associated with, Fairy Tail doesn't have a good rap with a lot of us because honestly, for us, it's a pretty mediocre series at best, with a lot of pandering. It's like a weird mix between like being a fan service show and like an overly generic shonen with just interesting shit going on, maybe in terms of set pieces. Because as I said, Fairy Tail always had elements of it that made it cool, and I could see some of the appeal in it. You know, have a character who reminds you a lot of other popular Shonen Jump characters, girls who were scantily clad like 90% of the time, attractive girls who were scantily clad 90% of the time, very consistent with the gags. I mean, let's think about it. Like, I don't know too much about Fairy Tail, and I already know most of the main gags. Urza's overly serious half the time while having a weird mother-like attitude. Gray has a tendency of taking off his clothes. Natsu is Luffy. That's he's not he's not Luffy, but he's very similar to Luffy. Except he's just not an anti-hero. He's just a hero. It's the same shit. And, you know, we got the girl who drinks a lot. I don't know all the girls' names. The maid has like a split. Not the maid. What's her name? The one with the silver hair that has like, when she uses her magical power, she transforms into like this crazy looking bitch. It's, you know, and it does the whole thing where villains become allies, like Juvia and Gajeel. You know, I know stuff about Fairy Tail, and I shit on Fairy Tail a lot because I find Fairy Tail to be very boring. But here's where I'm going with this. Fairy Tail has its problems, but Fairy Tail, I think I've learned that Fairy Tail has the same level of appeal as something as Boku no Hero does. And a lot of people would be like, whoa, those are two different levels. But think about it. And the same thing with Zatch Bell and Mare. It's a show that you don't take seriously. It's a show that you don't take seriously, but can get at your heartstrings because it has the ability to. Because Zatch Bell, at the core of it all, was a fucking tournament between a whole bunch of demons, because that's what they were called in the original version. We put on the word Momoto. I'm curious to see where the word Momoto came from. That's a different point. Zatch Bell's whole premise was a fucking tournament where no one really died. The only people who could die were the humans. Because none of the Momoto could die. Well, I think later on they figured out a way to kill them, but the point I'm making is that Zatch Bell had that weird sense of like being insanely, like, I wouldn't say threatening, but it got you to care and feel, even though there wasn't really too much in danger half the time. It's like when a Momoto went away, it wasn't like, oh, the Momoto's dead, because Momoto wasn't dead. He was just he was gone. He just went back to the Momoto world. And they still got you to cry over characters like fucking Danny and Yopapoi and fucking Pony. Well, shh. I'm not gonna say that. They got me to care about characters. What's her name? Patty. That's not it. The girl with the ice claws and the bunny hairstyle that was upset. I think it's Patty. I feel like it's Patty. It may not be Patty. That's not the point. The point is, you got me to care about things even though there wasn't anything inherently in danger. It's almost the same kind of shit with Fairy Tail and Mare and even Boku no Hero. I don't feel like any of the main heroes are gonna die, like most of the time, especially when you preface the story with, oh yeah, this is the story about how I became a hero. I'm not looking for a lot of deaths, and even if there are deaths, there aren't going to be too many deaths, and it's probably not going to be on the good guy side. It's like that. It's that type of threatening where everything's for the most part still lighthearted. it's like the gags are so far out there. And I mean, and even other shows, like even One Piece has that feel to it. But my point is, it's a show that you can just thoroughly enjoy without having to worry about any bullshit. You know, and it has its elements of lore that if you want to get into, I feel like, to be honest with you, I would say Fairy Tail and even probably, well, I don't know about Toriko, but Toriko I think is a weird. Toriko was trying to do One Piece and DBZ as a fusion, and it didn't really work out as well as I think they wanted it to. It worked out well enough because it's still fucking going, but you know, I don't think it worked out as well as they wanted to. Because I mean, let's think about it. Fairy Tail's anime is still going in variations, whereas fucking Toriko just kind of stopped. I feel like Fairy Tail kind of fits that demographic of when I want to introduce someone into anime. The first series, I'm not gonna give them One Piece as the first series because that's an easy way to turn them off. And the AC just came on. I actually don't know how loud the AC is. Fuck. That is not the first series I would recommend. It doesn't make them bad series, they're just not good introduction series. Whereas something like Zatch Bell could get you introduced to the shonen genre without it being overbearing. The only reason why I wouldn't recommend Fairy Tail any higher is because Fairy Tail suffers from the fact that it's still fucking going. I feel like those type of shows should stop, because if they don't, it just feels like it's like you're trying to overstep your boundaries into what kind of show you are. Fairy Tail to me is just a show that's going to keep throwing shit at you until it ends. That's how Fairy Tail feels a lot to me. But I mean, Zatch Bell was like that too. It was like, we're doing a Momoto tournament, and oh, well, here's an arc about Momoto that aren't even included into this tournament, but they're going to be a main plot line for this tournament for like the next few arcs, for like the next arc, which took up like a good chunk of the anime. I'm slightly distracted by the possibility of something turning the corner. I might have to run really quick. And this is why I don't do videos outside, folks. But yeah, like shows like Zatch Bell, Tiger and Bunny, fucking Boku no Hero Academia, it's the same shit. They all hit that same kind of, this is not going to do anything amazing or revolutionary. I don't say anything any of these shows did was revolutionary or amazing. I mean, Zatch Bell might have been amazing for its time, but I recognize wholeheartedly that Zatch Bell is a pretty simplistic show with a basic premise that anybody could into. And that's kind of the whole thing that sells it. And I think that was the problem Toriko had. Toriko tried to be way too complicated without having any reason to be. It's like your premise was so simple, so it's obvious that you were gearing towards the Fairy Tail crowd, but your world building was on like One Piece level to the point where it's like it didn't make any fucking sense. And it's a show that it's inherently hard to get into or super invested in because it's a show about fucking food. Almost the whole plot of this fucking series is to create the perfect meal, which would be fine if it knew how to self-restrain itself, kind of like what Food Wars does, or Shogeki no Soma. Shogeki no Soma is another food anime that it understands exactly what it is. It's a show about cooking that doesn't try to get overly fantastical with it. There's some overly fantastical elements about how everyone has an orgasm when they eat something delicious, but for the most part, it's pretty self-fucking-contained. It's that same type of shit. It's that simple ass story with premise that's just kind of like you jump into, and that's it. Fairy Tail. We're a guild of friends who work together by supporting each other. Every character has a story and has things that are going on in their lives, but at the end of the day, we're Fairy Tail, we're a guild, and we work together. I mean, High and Closer did this something. High and Closer has a similar setup. I mean, and maybe that's the issue people have with Fairy Tail, is that Fairy Tail and Toriko both fit another category. A show that doesn't understand which side it wanted to be on. Fairy Tail obviously had the setup of a basic ass shonen, but then tried to overextend itself into being something greater, but never really hit those high marks. So when people started shitting on it, we were like, "Oh, what's the problem, man? It's just a fun story about mages." Well, no, because from what I've heard from fans of the series, Fairy Tail has shit in it that can make it greater, and it's a show that literally just doesn't do anything with its potential. It literally just keeps floundering forward on whatever it fucking feels like. I just personally feel like Fairy Tail and Toriko are shows that overextend themselves, but I understand the appeal of them, and I know what they're for. They're just not my generation's version of. My generation's version knew when to fucking stop. It was like, look, here's a story, we'll just do the story. Mare, it was literally saving a kingdom. And that's all the story really was. Same thing with Zatch Bell. We need to do this Momoto tournament to fucking pick a new king. And that's all it fucking was. Although I will admit, and I've said this multiple times, I like some of the character designs in Fairy Tail. Juvia is bar none like one of my favorite characters. And for some reason I've gotten into a thing with stalker girls. I mean, Bull Hancock is that same level of like creepy fucking, I wouldn't say tsundere. Well, I guess tsundere would be the best way to put it because she's not yandere. Yeah, but like that creepy fucking obsession type. For some reason Juvia is just very cute for me for that. I don't fucking know. I don't have questions, but you know. And Toriko doesn't understand what women are. But they will give guys boobs in chapter. I did see that. That was weird. I didn't understand that. Then again, I don't understand a lot of aspects of Toriko. I would probably say I'm probably less interested in Toriko than I am in Fairy Tail. My God. My fucking God. Anywho. That's all I got to say. I think this video has gotten a little jumbled. And the plane won't leave me alone. So I'm going to go back inside before I start getting eat up by various animals and someone across the line being like, shut the fuck up. So I think I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.